Men are now lonelier than women. Say that out loud, and it sounds backwards. For decades, the data point the other way. But a December 2025 study by AARP, surveying over 4,500 adults, found something researchers weren't expecting. 42% of men now report loneliness, compared to 37% of women, a reversal. And here's the part that should actually unsettle you. It has nothing to do with how many friends a man has. It has to do with one invisible switch almost no man is ever taught to flip. Let's start where every man starts. At the bottom, comfort didn't protect him. It buried him. The American Psychological Association released its Stress in America survey in November 2025, and the numbers should stop you cold. Over half of U.S. adults now report feeling isolated, left out, or lacking companionship. In an age with more digital connection than any generation in human history, more apps, more platforms, more friends, and somehow less actual connection, Marcus felt that hollowness before he could name it. 26 years old, warehouse shifts, sleeping through his own alarm 4 mornings a week. Every night. Tomorrow I fix it. Tomorrow never came. Then he watched a co-worker, 10 years older, same job, same tired excuse, and it landed like a fist to the chest. That co-worker's life wasn't a warning. It was a preview. So Marcus made one brutal, tiny change. He moved his alarm clock across the room. No more negotiating with himself in the dark. Get up or don't shut it off. That's the whole fix. Comfort didn't get a vote anymore. But comfort isn't even the deepest trap. There's something underneath it most men never see coming. Winners don't wake up motivated. They wake up as someone else. David tried building 3 businesses. All 3 failed. Somewhere in there, he quietly rewrote his own identity. I'm the guy who tries and fails. That sentence ran in the background of every decision he made, every pitch, every hesitation, every early exit. Then a mentor said something that cracked him open. Stop trying to succeed. Start being the person who already did. Not a slogan, a literal rewiring of language. David stopped saying, I'm trying to work out. He started saying, I don't skip workouts. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck's research on identity-based mindset remains one of the most replicated findings in behavioral science. Self-talk rooted in identity sustains effort far longer than self-talk rooted in goals. Goals are things you chase. Identity is something you defend. David's 4th business is still standing. But identity alone collapses the second life, actually tests you. That takes something almost every man is quietly avoiding right now. Men aren't dying from loneliness. They're dying from silence. Here's the twist most people miss. Pew Research's 2025 data shows men and women report almost identical levels of loneliness overall. The gap isn't in what men feel. It's in what men do about it. Men are significantly less likely to reach out to friends, family, or professionals when they're struggling. Elijah avoided every hard conversation for a decade. Conflict, confrontation. Even asking for what he was worth. Then he watched a coworker with half his skill get the promotion he wanted, simply because that coworker opened his mouth and Elijah didn't. That was the wake-up call. Elijah started forcing one uncomfortable conversation into every single day. Cold calls, hard truths, asking directly for what he wanted. 8 months later, he got his promotion. Wait, it's not that men feel less. It's that they say less. That single distinction changes everything about how you fix it. So silence is a disease. But here's what nobody's telling you. The cure isn't more hustle. It might be the opposite. The strongest man in the room might be the one who rests the hardest. Tyler ran 80-hour weeks, trained every single day, took 0 days off, and wore his exhaustion like a badge of honor. Then in the same month, burnout and a breakup, total collapse. The therapist told him something that reframed everything. Rest isn't the absence of discipline. Rest is training. Tyler started scheduling recovery exactly the way he scheduled workouts, non-negotiable, protected, on the calendar. A year later, he was outperforming the version of himself who never stopped. Chronic, unrecovered stress physically impairs the brain's decision-making and self-control circuitry, the exact machinery discipline depends on, which means the men burning out aren't too disciplined. They're missing a piece of the system entirely. Now here's where it all locks into place. The one shift that makes discipline automatic instead of exhausting. Average men chase goals. Winners install standards that don't care how they feel. Heading into 2026, one framework has been spreading fast in behavioral psychology circles. Mel Robbins let them theory, sitting right alongside older, harder science on self-directed standards from psychologists Deci and Ryan. Different language, same conclusion. Control what's actually yours. Release what isn't. Act from identity, not mood. James, 40 years old, father of two, spent years cycling through motivation. On for a month, off for 3. Then one day it hit him. He had never once skipped a workout on a day he felt motivated. Every missed day happened when motivation ran dry. Motivation was never the real variable. So James stopped waiting to feel ready. He installed a standard, unemotional, non-negotiable, immune to his mood on any given morning. 6 years later, it still hasn't broken. Comfort, identity, silence, recovery, standards. That's the full mechanism. The one almost no man has ever handed. And the one separating the men who quietly disappear into their own excuses from the ones who don't. So here's the real question. Would you rather feel motivated for one good day, or build a standard strong enough to survive your worst one? Comment standard if you're done waiting to feel ready. Let's see how many of you actually mean it.